Men of Reddit, what is the creepiest woman you have ever come into contact with? I'm not a man, but my then boyfriend stopped going to the local game shop he loved cause of the weird girl who hung out there. She would stand around all day and chase around any dude who walked in alone. She wore one of those big oversized panda bandanas that hang down and looked like she hadn't seen a bath in ages. She'd follow the guys around and meow creepily at them, and when they looked at her she'd make weird anim noises and overreact and run away. He said one day she asked if he thought she was kawaii, so he noped out and didn't go back. The chick I met off Tinder, who briefly became a stalker, as in, take a photo from my rocking chair on my porch at my front door around 4 AM and text it to me as I'm asleep. Stalker. Had a woman that begged me to dance with her while I was working in a restaurant because it was her birthday. She wrapped me up like a goddamn Linebacker mid-waist when I turned her down. I drugged her across the restaurant while my coworkers laughed. But she wasn't done yet. After cursing at me and screaming, she eventually pinned me against a wall, grinded on me, and tried to kiss me. I thought I could escape her by running into the kitchen, but nope. She followed me there where management finally did something. I had to hide in the basement until she was escorted out. Now if I wasn't a 220 lb 6 feet 1 inch man and she wasn't a drunk little middle-aged woman and the roles were reversed, this story would cease to be funny and seem really ducked up. I was at Target early in the AM, standing in line for a Hatchimal for my child last year when a woman in her early 40s wearing a dirty fur coat pulled up in an old / beat up BMW and asked me if I wanted my pee-pee sucked for $40 bucks. I said not from you, and off she went on her hunt for man juice. Life, never a dull moment. Not from you is really the best possible response to that. My parents had a dog walker lady who would come 3 times a day to walk the pups. I was there when she came over one time and she started talking to me. She seemed really nice. Then she mentioned her granddaughter who was like 15 and how she thought we might hit it off. I was like 22 at the time, so I told her that I didn't think it was a good idea. 3 weeks later my phone buzzes. Didn't recognize the number, but I answered anyway. Guess who? Turns out she somehow got my mom to give her my number, gave it to her granddaughter, and this crazy 9th grader is calling me saying we should meet. I tried to let her down easy, but she started crying about 5 minutes in. She was nuts. I eventually had to have her phone blocked, cause she would call me like every 2 days. After I blocked her, I came into the house one day and saw grandma there chatting with my mom. I definitely made a seal face because mom asked me why I booked out without saying hello. This girl that I had gone to the bar with a few times in college sat outside my apartment for 4 hours while texting my most recent ex-girlfriend that I was in there with some other girl. I was in there playing GoldenEye on the N64 with my little brother, still very confused about that whole thing. Girl in high school had huge crush on me. I told her she was more of a friend. I didn't stop her from being near me at lunch, waiting for me outside my classes and stuff like that. Fast forward a few years, I have my girlfriend of 4 years and a baby. This girl works at a local grocery store. Now I never really went here, but they have some good rotisserie chicken. So I'll go in once every blue moon. So I'm getting chicken one day and she runs up behind me, gives me a from the back hug, and I'm 6 feet 3 maybe 5 feet 4. Her hands are straight up on my crotch. I spin around, act friendly, say hey, I'm just getting some dinner for my family. She starts clucking, straight up clucking at me with a mad look on her face. Guess she didn't know I had a baby. We live in a kinda small town, so everybody knows each other on Facebook at least. So I don't understand how she never knew about my daughter, cause like any parent my Facebook turned into look at my child anyway. She's clucking and says you never told me you had a family, and I said oh my bad, guess I forgot to send out a memo to everyone from high school, and we do the awkward white people laugh and it goes quiet. I feel like we're the only 2 people in the store. So I say I'm gonna go pay for this now, okay? So I'm in line after that god awful interaction, and as I'm leaving I hear her scream from the produce section, please come back. I turn around and there's a good moment where I'm thinking, did I steal something? And then she screams again. I turned myself right around and walked briskly to my car. Chicken was duck and delicious BTW. I'm working as an EMT, and we had an emergency cause a resident of the mental institution here broke each finger of her left hand by putting the tip on the table and pushed down until it broke. That alone was scary, but during the drive to the hospital, she was just blankly staring at the roof of the car and frequently repeat some Bible verses and prayers. Just mumbled them really fast over and over again. I mean, not really her fault to be mentally ducked up, but it was like a scene from some possession horror movie and really creepy. My stalker. I had a stalker in college. She was an acquaintance that worked her way into my life. She did all sorts of wacky stuff, but what confirmed the legit crazy stalker creeper status was when she made up a boyfriend who was literally just me. She makes up this guy, gives him my name, says he goes to a college about an hour away. This fake dude with my name has basically all the same interests as me. TV shows, bands, academic interests, ECT. Same name, same interests, same everything. The extent she went to prove he was real was super ducked up. She created a Facebook account for him and basically photoshopped this same dude, no idea where she got the image of the guy, into a bunch of different photos from the Facebook group of the college she said he went to. She bought a second phone and phone line to use that phone number on his Facebook page. She create huge fake long text conversations between the two phones and show them to her friends about all the cute or funny things he would say and do. She would covertly call herself from the fake phone while in the presence of others and have fake conversations in front of friends that would sometimes go on for hours. It was really convincing. If it wasn't, me and everyone else would have known it was bullpoop and that she was just pretending to date a fake version of myself. Well, when the truth inevitably came out, I was weirded the duck out. I reported her to the school and asked she not be near me ever again. I probably should have gone to the actual cops in retrospect, but you know how colleges are in that regard. She took my keys and produced a replica of them. Every time I left the apartment, she brought her stuff into my room. I never understood why so many of her belongings were in the house, because she was only ever there with a small backpack. At some point in time, I found the keys in one of her pockets. I was creeped out a fair bit by her behavior. She was like a vampire, swooshing into a conversation she wasn't invited to join, and demanding to be the center of attention, and God help you if she didn't get it. She'd take every possible opportunity to correct you, and if you defended your point, she would immediately change the subject in a way that left me thinking, what the ducking duck? Did that just happen? She bragged endlessly about herself and was extremely condescending to people she didn't even know. I don't think I'd ever met anyone that ducked up before, and it made me worried about what she'd be capable of. I have an older cousin. She's basically my mom's sister. They're so close, but they are first cousins. I think that makes me her second cousin. I cannot go around that woman without her actively flirting with me, asking who I'm dating, talking up my looks, asking me to play guitar, things of that nature. It's damn creepy and uncomfortable, and I hate going near her, but again, she's basically my mom's sister, so I still end up seeing her every so often, where she does it again. Several single mums I knew in my teens would ask me to babysit, and then would duck about with me when they got home. It started with one of them, and she introduced me over time to her friends. They lost interest in me when I hit about 16 or 17. They were ducked in the head. What do you mean by duck about? Did you duck them, or what? That's one way of putting it, yeah. Throwaway, because when I first made my original account I included my first name. I used to work at my university's bookstore with a girl who was somewhat aggressive with her flirting. This was someone I was really not attracted to or interested in. I had my 22nd birthday after a couple weeks of working there and decided to go out to the bars with some friends. We ended the night at a club downtown, and while we were there we ran into that girl. Keep in mind I had only just met her at this point. I turned around when I heard her yell my name, to be faced with her as she starts pushing herself up against me. She grabbed my shoulders and said, "Hey, dance with me." I wasn't interested, so I said no, to which she responded, "Come on, I'm on Molly, I want you to dance with me." She still had her hands on my shoulders and was starting to grind up against me. I really didn't want to, but I was drunk and awkward and didn't know how to get myself out of that situation. After a few more times of me saying no and her not listening, I finally told her I had to use the bathroom. I left and saw one of the friends I had came within there who had just recently left the bookstore for a different job. I told him what happened and he told me that she did the same thing to him but took it one step further. He told me she had grabbed his hand and put it between her legs, at which point he apparently had the same idea as me and left to use the bathroom. We decided to end the night there because it was late and we didn't want to deal with her.